Hello students, welcome to the new session and a new module as well. So let's start. I'll tell you what are the contents which we will be covering in this module. This module is known as working with drawing aids. We will learn how to work with some drawing aids. The first and the foremost is layers and the line types. We will be covering the properties toolbar, properties tool, the current global line type scaling and line type scale factor. We will also learn the best use of grid, snap, and ortho modes, object snaps and running object snap modes, and auto tracking. So basically, majorly the function tools we will be learning in this module. Layers is an independent tool of AutoCAD, but still it is somehow is said to be a drawing aid because it will actually help you in working with best accuracy and best comfort in AutoCAD. I would say this is the base of your drawings. When you will learn this, you'll get to know what I'm talking about. So let's start and understand the concept of layers and how to use them in your drawing. Now, before further going into the topic, I want to just give you an example. In real life, when you draft or you draw something on your paper, I would say a cartridge sheet or an ivory sheet, any size, A4, A3, A2, A1. Architect students may be using A1 as well. Mechanical students also A4, A2. Mechanical students also A2, A1. So any of the sheets which you are using in any of the engineering or designing field, your set of drawings do not get compiled or covered in one sheet. We all are using the gateway tracing sheets or tracing sheets, any type of tracing sheet to overlap that particular ivory or cartridge sheet for further detailing of the drawing. Let's see here. See, this is few sets of sets of sheets. Basically, I would use the word overlays. These are overlays. My first overlay has just a simple drawing. My second overlay has the set of dimensions which are required. My third overlay can be the labeling part. Okay. So my fourth overlay can be some detailing within this particular drawing I require. But still, I have some drawbacks in manual drafting in terms of limitations of overlays. I cannot overlap each and every section of my drawing. Like, for example, I'll give about, for example, a layout. We know that we have to draw a lighting layout, a ceiling layout, a flooring layout, but still in a overall furniture layout or a basic layout, I cannot overlap each and every part of my drawing. I cannot show furniture and lighting and false ceiling within one layout. Okay. But here, with the help of layers, you can do that in AutoCAD. You can overlay your drawings. For example, if you want to see and that's why I said I use the word accuracy. Accurately, you want to place a fan in a room and you want to check how much diameter it is covering in my room, which all furniture it will be covering. Any furniture which has a height of 10 feet, is it overlapping the fan or is it a hindrance for the fan? And where all the lights are coming, where all my other points of my ceiling are coming, so that it doesn't overlap. For example, if I'm working for an office layout, in a false ceiling or in a false ceiling, I have so many options. Like I have to give a fire control, I have to give a smoke detectors, I have to give AC ducting, AC ducts. So many things are there. Okay, so I have to check that every layout, because I have to make each and every layout separately. I cannot combine each and everything in one, because like I said a few days back, you have to create an accurate layout because there are so many people involved. I have to pass on that layout to an AC consultant, so it should only have the layout and AC ducts in it. He has to follow me. Why? Because I have the rest of the complete layout with me. I cannot share with him the lighting also, the fire and smoke detectors also. I cannot share each and everything with him. I can just share the column part, the overall false ceiling size, where I want my inlet and outlet of my ducts. So I can just give him the briefing of the overall drawing area and sup, uh, supply him the drawing in relation to the AC. So all these have to be made in one drawing, and layer can actually work as a drawing aid and help you in doing that by overlapping or overlaying the drawings. How? This is very interesting. You will be coming through few sessions because I cannot cover all. This is a very big and important tool of your drawing of your AutoCAD. So I'll be covering in almost 2 or 3 sessions. Okay, so let's start. Like for example, you can see in this image, this is a simple object. Now we have made some layers, like layer of this object is in red color. Okay, so means this line is in red in color. The dimensions which are specifying which are specifying basically what are the dimensions of this particular object are in green. So first and the foremost thing which I get to do is I can separate the colors of my lines and my object to make sure that the representation or of the presentation as well and the representation, that is the other person can read it easily. Okay, like in manual drafting we use different rotring pens for dimensioning, for hidden lines as per our engineering fields. Okay, so same way you can differentiate all the objects there in your particular drawing. Okay, so this is what layers help us in, and there are many other functions as well. We'll go through each and every function. Today I'll just give you an overview of it. Okay, now what are the advantages of using layers? The first and the foremost advantage, which I already said, it as we can draw the objects in separate layers, it is easy to understand and it is very organized way of working. Okay, because if you want to see, I'll come to that point. Basically, I'll just briefly tell you. If you want to see only the furniture, so you can close, you can lock, or you can make the other parts of your layout invisible. Means they would be there in AutoCAD, but you need not show them, or you need not, because if you want to work on a particular detail, you can close the other parts. Or if you want to send someone a particular PDF for only the furniture part or only the ceiling part, you can work accordingly without opening different drawing sheets or using different files, copy paste in the other file and do it. It will, in fact, it would create a miserable life for you to just take out 10 saved files. One is of ceiling, one is of plumbing, one is of electricals, and overlapping it. You can do mistake. It is obvious that you can do mistake, because if you do any change in furniture layout, that will definitely you have to go to all the other layouts to change that particular thing. Okay, but here if you draw as overlays within the layers, if you draw in layers, if you do a change, you need not do the changes in the other parts, because that are parts, not layouts. You're not going to draw your overall structure again and again. You're not going to draw the outer lines again and again. You're just separating each and every part of your object. I'll give you an example. Like for example, we have a house plan. Okay, so in house plan, we have walls, we have windows, we have doors, we have partitions. AutoCAD doesn't know this is a wall, this is a partition, but you can define it. You can separate all the you can keep all the doors in one layer, and again you can create your layers. Like for example, if you have a wooden door, three wooden doors, so you can specify three wooden doors and give it a color and specify it in a layer. And you have a glass door, you can say this is a glass door and save a layer. Now you have a window. If you have all window with the same size, you can create one layer. If you have two sizes, you can create two layers. So accordingly, you can organize your drawing. You can control your drawing. Okay? That is one of the advantage of using layers. Now, associate objects by their function or location. Again, this as I said, you can associate the object with this function and you can locate it easily. Okay. Now, walls can be created, your partitions can be created, and the most important thing, you can create something which all of the other people or your mentors or your colleagues can read. You can set the layers properties and your drawing properties in such a manner, in such color codings or in standard names, so everyone can read. Like we know wall, a brick wall is of red color, so we can give a red color to a wall layer. So the symbolization is easy for the person who is reading your drawing. Because see, one thing you have to understand, we as an AutoCAD user or as a designer or as an engineer, we know that we can, if we are sending something, we are drawing a line or we are saying something through a drawing, everything is has to be said through your drawing. Every time you would not be there personally to talk about it. When you send some drawing to someone, the other person should easily understand your drawing and accordingly judge it. So third point, for third advantage of using lasers, do not have to set properties for each object in your drawing. Yes, when you are drawing, you do not have to set each and every, you don't have to select every object and change the property. For example, if I am drawing furnitures in my layout, so each and every furniture, if I'm drawing in a particular, if I keep in a particular layer, as in furniture layer, so whenever I change a property in that particular layer, it will apply to all the objects in that particular layer, to all the furniture. Like for this, in this example, if I have kept all dimensions as green, so I need not select each and every dimension and click as green. I have to make sure that I've drawn all the dimension within that dimension layer. If I have done that, then all my dimensions will automatically be green as my layer is green. For that, I'll show you all the options available in layers. You can hide or show the layer. As I said before, you can hide and show the layer. So if you want to work on a particular object, you can hide the other objects or details. Like for example, if you want again to, if you don't want to see the dimension or labeling, you can just hide it. Okay, you have an option in layer manager. Then you can lock and unlock. Again, I said you can lock means if you lock a particular layer, it cannot be edited. This is the best example for it. If you have made a layout and you want to on your furniture, you have a furniture layout, and on your furniture you want to place a ceiling layout wherein you want to place a fan. Now, while placing a fan, you don't want to touch your bed design or your room design. Okay, so you can lock your room design, you can lock all the walls, you can lock all the furniture, so that when you're working on the ceiling part, your other layout, that is the other objects, furniture objects or wall, doors, any of the line won't be deleted, won't be edited. There will be a sign on your screen as a lock if you go on a lock object. Okay, you cannot delete it, you cannot erase it, you cannot edit it, you cannot copy, you cannot move it, you cannot do anything with it. So through this, you can have very good control, a great control over your drawing. Okay. Now, the fifth advantage is modification or selection of object is easier. I've already told you this. Modification is easy, the selection is easy. Through hide and show through lock and unlock. Now, the last one is plotting is easier. Yes, you have an option if you don't want all the things to be plotted, or like you want to make a PDF or you want to take a print, you want just few objects to be plotted. There is an option. You can control that through layers. If you want to publish a drawing and save it and send it to someone, you don't want all the features to go. Yes, you can do that. But if you send an AutoCAD file, then definitely all the layers will go along with it. Okay. When you make a PDF also, the layers which are there within your drawing will show. Okay. But you have an option, you want to plot it or not. If you close, then it will not get printed and published. Okay. Now I'll give you a brief overview of how to work with layers. Okay. In this session, I won't show you in AutoCAD because there's already so much for you to grasp. In the next session, I'll show you all the things which I'm talking about. Okay. But now just try to understand the concept. You can go to your ribbon and on your home tab, there is a layers option. There is a layers properties tab as well. Complete properties tab, from where you can control your layer properties. In toolbar again, you can go to layers and your layer property manager will open. This is basically you're working with layers means you're setting all these settings and the properties in the layer property manager. Okay. Layers is nothing but it includes all the properties of the object. So now, this is your layers panel. Okay. This is your layer property manager. You have on and off button here, icon here. Icon is a bulb. You have an icon of freezing, that is a snow icon. You can freeze or thaw in all your viewports. Then you have a lock or unlock a layer option. You have a color option. You can give a color to a layer. You can name a layer. Okay. Then you can switch off the layers. You can turn on all the layers. You can unisolate the layers. You can throw all the layers. You can isolate the layers. You can unlock. You can match the layers with others. You can freeze the layers and you can make the layer which you have saved as current. Okay. So these are the options within your panel, on your layer panel. Okay. In the layer toolbar, you will find this layer property manager. When you open this is a partial view. This is somehow the property manager will show. So here you can create new layers. By default, it will be zero name layer would be there. There are columns here. These are the filters. Here you have options. Current layer is as of now 0. It is showing 0. Whichever will be the current layer, it will be showing here. Okay. There is an icon with new layer. If you click on this, a new layer will appear in front of you in this list. If it's the first one, it will be layer 1. If it's the second one, it will be layer 2. And as the series goes on, you can change the name, you can rename it as per your requirement. Like in the first example, I said object and dimension. So you can type here object, you can type dimension. So we have different columns here: on, off, freeze, lock, color, line type, line weight, transparency, plot style, printing, and then we have descriptions and few other options which are hidden as of now. As and when we pull the property manager, all the layers are shown. Okay. We can also delete a layer and we can also create a new layer. We can set the layer as current as well. How will you get to know the layer is current or not? This green sign, the tick sign, would appear in the front of the layer if it's a current layer. See, as of now the 0 layer is the current, so this is the tick. All right. So you all must be working in the current layer, that is the 0 layer as of now. Okay. you're still working in a layer. Okay. And how can you make a layer current? Like, see here, you can see there are so many layers. So you can make a layer current through many methods. One of the method is shortcut menu. If you right click on that, if you select a particular layer, if you select a particular layer and right click on it, there will be a shortcut menu, and from there you can set current. Or from your layer panel, you can set it as current, make current layer. Okay. You can even double click on your this icon here in the blue area. You can double click it and it will become current. Or here on your manager, in this properties manager, this is the icon for current layer. See, a tick mark is there. So if you select the layer and click on it, it will make a layer current. Okay. So I'll brief you with all the control options. I've already said you can turn a layer on and off. Okay. See, this is the bulb. You can freeze or thaw a layer. There is a new VP freeze option. VP freeze, that is viewports. Okay. Lock or unlock a layer. Make a layer plottable or non-plottable. Assigning line type to a layer. Yes, you can assign the line type means align different types of line, like solid line, a dash line, a dotted line. Okay. So when you want to assign a line type, you have a property manager here, line type. Like this, here it is all are continuous. When you click on this, this is the dialog box which will appear in front of you. So you can select here, like only one is loaded. You have to load different types. Here is an option to load. There is a help option also. There is a cancel and OK and load. When you click on load, this load option dialog box will be in front of you. Okay. So you have different options here, available line types here. This is an option where you can actually load some line types you took from online, okay, from internet. That we will come to it later. I'll show you. So basically, you can select one of the options from this line type, click OK, and it will show here. And then you can click OK and come back, and you can select any of them and any of the layers, and you can see the selection here in your line type option in front of your layer. There are two things here. On turn on and turn off is very simple. If the bulb is on, this will be yellow. When I click on it, it will turn on as gray. So that is off. Freeze and lock has a difference. When you lock a particular layer, that will just lock the layer, but the objects in that particular layer will be there in front of you. Okay. In freeze, the objects will be invisible. It will not appear in your screen. If you turn off a layer, then also it will not be there on your screen. But there is a major difference between layer on off and freeze. When you off your layer, you check your AutoCAD system. Like for example, if you are working, your AutoCAD becomes heavy. Your KBs, basically your bytes are being used. Your space is being used when you are making so many layers. Okay. Sometimes even if a point is there in that particular layer, their layer cannot be deleted. That's the complication with layers. So you have to very safely work in layers. So when you off the layer, your layer is still there. Your objects are still there in your AutoCAD. Whether they're not appearing on your screen, but they're in your file. But when you freeze that particular layer, like for some time we are working on a complex drawing, for maybe it will be taking 1 month, and some aspects of your drawings you do not want as of now. You want maybe after 15 days or maybe after a month, you can freeze it. Why to freeze it? Because by freezing it, your AutoCAD file will automatically not just make invisible from your screen, it will freeze off for some time in terms of bytes also, in terms of memory also. Okay, the space it is taking in your system, in your AutoCAD system or in your computer system. It will decrease the size of the file. Okay, you can try that. Then you'll in the coming sessions you will learn. Okay, and one more important point is when you have freeze layers, whenever you open a new session or the AutoCAD regenerates every time, it will take less time because it will not regenerate those layers which are in freeze. All right, because the file becomes heavy. Fine. Coming to line type, I've already showed you. There is a dialog box. We will be discussing each and every point in detail. Now, you can also assign transparency to a layer. How much transparent a layer you want, the objects you want. You can assign colors to the layers. You can assign line weight. Line weight means the thickness of the line. Okay, 0.0 mm, 0.05, 0.30, as and when the list goes on. So if you click on your manager here, this line weight, it is taking by default for everyone. If you click on this line weight dialog box will appear in front of you. Okay. Now, you can also assign plot style to a layer. The plot style which is saved in your AutoCAD, you can change the plot styles, you can name your plot style through your option dialog box, plot and publish. If you go there, in this, when you open a plot style, you click on the plot style to assign a plot style in a layer. See, by default it will show normal, and you have active plot style table. You can go and edit it. This is the attached one, and you can click on OK. You can also take help. So there will be a list of plot styles if you have saved it. Otherwise, if it's it's a basic one, default one, just one option will be there. Okay, that's all which I wanted to tell you today. In the next session, I'll give a quick revision of all which I have discussed, and we'll continue the layers command. I'll show you how to do all these things in AutoCAD. Okay, thank you, students.